Hey guys, and welcome to the first ever product review here on Tech Addicts. My name is Sam and I'm going to be reviewing the Canon EFS 10 to 18mm f4.5 to 5.6 IS STM lens. Now, I've chosen this product because I am a vlogger and I know that many of you out there are vloggers, so if you're looking for a lens that's going to be able to do it all for your vlogging, this is going to be the lens. I've went through a lot of lenses because I didn't understand the terminology, what the numbers meant. So I just went ahead, did some research online and found this lens. Now what that means, the 10 to 18mm means that you're going to get a much wider angle lens than what comes with your DSLR if you bought the DSLR with a kit lens. Kit lenses usually start at 18mm, go up to 135 or even more than that, whereas this one starts at 10mm, so it's going to be able to zoom out a lot more and show a lot more in the frame of your video. If you're interested in this lens for vlogging, I'm going to tell you, it's not cheap, it's not super expensive. It's around $300, which is like the sweet spot for a lens like this that's going to make your vlogs a lot better. If I could compare this lens to another lens that I have, or a camera that I have that has a similar quality, it's going to be the G7X. Once this lens is installed on your camera, it's going to give you a wider frame, kind of like the G7X does, but on a DSLR body. Now the benefits of that, you can zoom in, zoom out, you have more control over the lens than you would if you bought a G7X. This camera has a stepping motor for focus. What that is that you're going to be able to be vlogging, you're going to be able to change, zoom in, zoom out, change scenes, and the motor is very silent. So for vlogging, when you're shooting video, you don't want to hear those gears crunching when the camera's trying to focus. So this lens enables you to focus without a lot of the sound that comes from the focusing motors within the lens. This lens is also image stabilized, which means that if it wasn't stabilized, I'm going to insert some video later on in this video showing you the difference between having the lens stabilized versus non-stabilized. Now this lens has image stabilization, which allows you to be a little shaky in the video, but it won't mess up the image, so the image won't be as shaky on when you upload your videos or when you download the footage off of your camera. It's going to be a little more stabilized. If there is any jerkiness, it's going to be very smooth, very unnoticeable, as opposed to having no image stabilization. Is going to make for a very shaky video. And yeah, it's something that I've learned I can't live without anymore once I've used it, because it really does help just give your videos that little more edge over someone else's video without image stabilization. Okay, now let's take a look at the lens, what you get in the box. Let's see, of course here we've got the Canon manual, warranty, and this is how the lens comes straight out of the box. It comes in this huge bubble wrap, comes in another protective layer right here, and voila, this is the lens that you will be buying if you chose to get this lens. Comes like that. 10 by 18mm right there. There it is in all of its glory. Alright, so as soon as you release this cover right here, the ring, this ring in newer lenses is usually made of metal, some sort of metal like aluminum or something, but here in this lens it's a little bit plasticky. Now if you feel the overall build of the lens, it's not the best build quality that I've ever felt in my life, but it does feel like a decently weighted lens. Although I would have preferred it had this ring been been like aluminum or some other sort of metal, because with plastic you can easily break this if you're not very careful with your camera. But overall it should do the job as long as you're not casing Neistatting your camera and just jerking it everywhere. And just be careful with your camera is all I'm trying to say, and you should get a decent life out of this lens. Now this lens is an f4.5 to 5.6 aperture, so what that tells you is that it's not going to let in as much light as would a lens with a 1.2, 1.6 or a 1.8 aperture. So in low light situations, this lens isn't going to be the best because it doesn't let in as much light as would an f1.8 aperture lens. So just be careful with that. If you're at night, it's going to introduce a lot of noise into your footage. Okay, so to give you guys just some perspective, this is how vlogging would be if you had an 18-135 lens. It would be this close to your face. Whereas if you have the 10-18mm lens, you'd get a much wider angle. So now I'm going to go from 18mm all the way to 10mm, which this lens is capable of. That's the extra framing that this lens is going to be able to provide you. Once you zoom out, you can show a lot more in the frame. I feel like there's a little distortion over here. It makes me look larger over here, but overall it's able to capture more in the frame. Again, this is what an 18mm lens would be like. It'll be this close and showing this much. If you want to go to 10mm, you can, and it'll be showing that much. We're going to be testing image stabilization. I'm going to shoot some video. This video is shot with it stabilized, and now I'm going to show you some video footage with this lens unstabilized, with image stabilization turned off. Okay, now this is image stabilization turned off. If you guys feel any shaking, that's because the image stabilization is turned off and it's just reacting to the subtle movements that I'm as I turn around and walk in my apartment. Now let's go back to image stabilization turned on. This is what the footage is like with image stabilization turned on. It may change a little bit, it may be a little smoother because now the lens is being stabilized inside of the camera. Overall, this is a pretty good lens. I definitely recommend it for someone who's looking for a super wide angle lens. I haven't seen anything beyond 10mm, maybe there are out there, but for me, for vlogging and for capturing video in selfie mode, I think this lens does a really good job of that. So I'm going to be sticking with this lens for a very long time for vlogging. I might change the DSLR itself, but as far as lenses go, this is definitely going to be one of the more important ones that I'm definitely going to always have in my camera bag, especially at times when I'm going to be vlogging. So yeah, this is a review of the Canon 10x18mm f4.5 to 5.6 lens. If you guys are interested in purchasing this lens, look it up. It's on Amazon. I think it's $300. It's well worth the money for what you get. And yeah, if you guys like this video, please like the video and please subscribe to our channel. It helps me out a lot and it helps you guys stay informed on the new reviews that we have on this channel. Take care and peace out, guys.